Hello students, today we'll discuss crop production and management. First chapter of class 8 science. I have divided this chapter into 3 parts and today we'll discuss the part 1. And in part 1 the point of discussion are why crop production and management is required, then agricultural practices, cropping patterns in India, then basic practices of crop production. And under this basic practices of crop production, there are so many steps, but in this session, we'll discuss only 2 practices, that is preparation of soil and sowing. Now, the first topic is why crop production and management, why it is required. See, all the living organisms require food for their life process like digestion, respiration, excretion, etc. And plant can make their own food by the process of photosynthesis, but the animals including human being cannot prepare their food themselves, and so they have to depend upon the plants. Therefore, in order to provide food for a large population, regular production and proper management and distribution of food is very, very essential. And this is the main motto of crop production and management. Now, this crop production includes your agriculture, and there are certain agricultural practices which improves the production of the crop. So under this heading we'll discuss what is crop and why variety of crops are produced in India. So let me first tell you what is crop. When the same kinds of plants are grown at one place on a large scale, it is called a crop. There are different types of crops like cereals, vegetables and fruits, and they can be classified on the basis of the season in which they grow. There are certain crops which are grown in summer, certain crops grown in rainy season, certain crops grown in winter season. And you might have observed that India is having a vast variety of crops. Different types of crops are grown in India. What is the reason behind this? Because India is a vast country, no doubt. Here, the climatic condition like temperature, humidity and rainfall vary from one region to another region of the country. And because of this reason, there is a rich variety of crop grown in different parts of India. Okay. Now, crop patterns in India. So, as I have told you, our country has a big diversity. Despite of its diversity, the whole crop is divided into 2 broad cropping patterns. They are Kharif crop and Rabi crop. So let me first tell you what is Kharif crops. The Kharif crops are grown in the rainy season. And the rainy season in India is generally from June to September. And the Kharif crop includes paddy, maize, soybean, groundnut, cotton, etc. So here in the diagram you can see some of the Kharif crops, that is paddy, maize and cotton. Now next, what is the other cropping pattern? That is your Rabi crops. These are the crops which are grown in the winter season and their time period is generally from October to March. And this crop includes your wheat, gram, pea, mustard and linseeds. And besides this, pulses and vegetables are also grown during summer at many places. And here the picture of some of the Rabi crops are there, that is wheat, pea and mustard. Now, what are the basic practices of any kind of crop production? We have to follow certain activities or certain steps for the production of any kind of crops, may it be Rabi crop or Kharif crop. So what are those activities? All those activities which are undertaken by the farmers for the cultivation of crop over a period of time is called agricultural practices. And what are the activities included under this? The activities are serially preparation of soil, next sowing, adding manure and fertilizer, then irrigation, then protecting from weeds, then harvesting and lastly storage. So these activities are conducted by the farmers systematically. And in this part, we'll discuss the preparation of soil and sowing. Only these two steps, two activities. Okay. So let me start with preparation of soil. This is the first step in agriculture. It is one of the most important tasks in crop production, in agriculture. That is the preparation of the soil. So what do you mean by preparation of soil? Preparation of soil means we have to prepare the soil in such a way that the crop can be grown easily in the soil. And how the crop will be grown? The crop can extract the nutrient from the soil easily. Okay. And this preparation of soil mainly includes your turning and loosening of the soil. Turning means what? The surface of the soil is having it is usually hard, and below the surface the soft part is there. So by turning we are just reversing the soil, that is the surface soil will be turned, and by loosening we are making the soil loose so that the root of the plant can penetrate deeper. Okay. And what are the advantages of loosening the soil? That I will tell you later on. But how this loosening of the soil is done? This is done by two instruments or two devices. One is your plow and other one is your hoe. And the process of loosening and turning of the soil is called tilling or plowing. And as I have told you, this is usually done by plow, but sometimes it is also done by the hoe. And sometimes what happens while plowing tilling or plowing the soil, what happens, sometimes the soil is very dry. So it will be very difficult for plowing. So in that case, we have to water the soil before plowing. So after watering, the field is plowed, and the plowed field may have big pieces of soil. And these big pieces of soil are called crumbs. And it is very essential to break these crumbs with a plank It is a device with which these crumbs are beaten and they are converted into small particles, soil particles. Okay, and after breaking the crumbs, the field is labeled. Unless it is labeled, there will be, it is not possible to sow the seeds uniformly, and also it is not convenient to irrigate the field. So how this leveling is done? The leveling is done by leveler. It is another instrument which is attached to a tractor, and that is called leveler. Okay, and this leveler makes the soil uniformly, soil to distribute uniformly, so that it will be easier for sowing and irrigation. Okay, now what are the advantages of preparation of soil, loosening of the soil? I will come to that, but before that, you see what is the structure of a plow. See, here you can see the plow. The plow, nowadays we are not using the plow, but in villages the poor farmers are using the plow even nowadays. So this plow is having a very strong triangular iron strip that is called plowshare, which is a triangular part, and its main part is made up of a wood called plow shaft, and there is a handle at one end of the shaft, and the other end is attached to the beam. What is beam? Beam is also a straight wooden rod like structure which is placed on the bull's neck, and the bulls are tied to the beam, and it is moved by the plow is run by the bullocks, I mean the bulls. So this is the structure of plow and how it works. The next, I was talking about hoe. This is the structure of hoe, and this hoe has it is used for both removing the weeds. What are weeds and why it is needed to be removed, that I will discuss in my next part of this topic. It is used for removing the weeds and loosening the soil. It has a log rod of wood or iron. A long wood is there, or it is made up, here it is made up of iron. It is labeled as rod, you can see, and to one of its end a strong, broad and bent plate of iron is fixed, which works like a blade. It is very much visible. It is labeled, that is there is a grip, and on one side, and on the other side there is a bent plate, and that bent plate is used, that is the most important part, that is used for tilling or turning the soil. Now what are the benefits of loosening the soil? Let me go back to the previous slide. So see, by loosening the soil, the first thing is that since the soil is loosened, sufficient amount of oxygen can be held by the air, because the space between the soil is increased. So now the soil can hold sufficient amount of oxygen. So therefore the roots of the plant can penetrate deeper and they can breathe easily. They can get sufficient oxygen. And as they can penetrate deeper, so they can absorb the nutrients from the soil easily. And besides that, as the soil is getting sufficient amount of oxygen, the friendly microorganisms which are responsible for the fertility of the soil can also grow properly. And this is another advantage of loosening the soil. Now next, what is the next step? The next step is your sowing. Now after tilling and plowing, the field is ready for sowing the seeds. And it is the most important part of crop production. But before sowing, we have to select good quality seeds. If the quality of seeds are not good, then the growth of the crop will not be there, or proper growth of the crop will not be there. Therefore, it is very, very important to select the good quality seeds. And what are good quality seeds? The good quality seeds are clean and healthy seeds. It should not be hollow. Okay. So, farmers prefer these type of healthy seeds which are clean, which are not having any fungal infection, or which are not hollow. These type of seeds are selected by the farmers to get high yield, high production. Okay. But how to select the good quality seeds? There is a simple method, simple activity by which we can know which seeds are of good quality and which seeds are of bad quality. Let us take a beaker. In the beaker, let us take some amount of water, and to that water we will add the seeds. We have to stir it. After 1 or 2 minutes, we'll see that some seeds are floating, whereas some other seeds are sinking. They are sinked at the bottom. So those seeds which are floating on the surface of the water are the bad quality seeds. Why they are floating? Because they are hollow and light. That's why they are floating. They are not healthy seeds. But those seeds which sinks in water are not hollow. They are heavier. That's why they sink. And they are the good quality seeds. This is how we have to select the good quality seeds. Then next, the seeds are ready. Good quality seeds are ready. Now, how to sow the seeds? We have to sow the seeds in such a way that the seeds should be distributed in the field in a uniform manner, so that the plant, after its germination, after the seed is being germinated, during the growth of the plant should get sufficient sunlight. Each and every plant should get sufficient sunlight, and then nutrient from the soil. So for that purpose, what we have to do? We have to prevent overcrowding. That means at a particular place there should not be more seeds. Okay. So there are different kinds of tools used for sowing the seeds. The traditional tools which are usually used by the farmers, it is we used to use generally, but there is a modern tool also that we'll discuss. So what is the traditional tool? I'll show you the diagram. In this tool, you can see here, you can see that the bullocks are there, and there are two persons. There is a funnel like structure the funnel is having a tube, 2 or 3 tubes are there, and or you can say the pipes are there. The seeds are put in the funnel, and then what happens, through the pipes the seeds are, the pipe is put inside the soil and the seeds are sown through the pipes. Okay, so this is the role of traditional tool. Okay, so here at a time what happens, more than one seed may be sown in a particular place. Okay, and those pipes are having sharp ends, and that sharp end is to prevent the overcrowding of the seed. But still then sometimes more than one seeds are sown in a place. Okay, so this end pierce into the soil and place the seeds there. There is a modern method, modern tool is there, which is called seed drill. Nowadays the seed drills are used for sowing with the help of tractor. The seed drill, with the help of seed drill, at a time we can sow in a large area of the field, and it saves the labor and time. That's why it is advantageous over the traditional tool. So here, with the help of this tool, the seeds are, what is its advantage? The seeds are uniformly distributed at a regular distance and depth also. Okay, and after putting the seeds in the soil, or after sowing the seed in the soil, the seeds get covered automatically by this tool, so that there will be no damage caused by the birds. Often what happens, after sowing the seeds, it is eaten by the birds. So here that problem is overcome, and besides that, since the seeds are uniformly distributed, there is no overcrowding, and automatically the seeds are covered by the soil. So here you can see the seed drill, and the seed drill is having many pipes, and through these pipes the seeds are, see, in the traditional tool we have only 3 pipes. We are putting the seeds in the funnel, and the seeds are released through the 3 pipes only, which pierces into the soil. But here see, there are so many pipes through which the seed can be sown. So it is, that's why it is saving the labor and also the time, because we are connecting it to the tractor. Now I have already discussed the advantages of seed drill. That is, it distributes the seed in equal distance, avoids overcrowding of the plants, and since there is no overcrowding and distantly the plants are grown, the plants get sufficient sunlight, nutrients and water from the soil. Okay, so in this session this much only, and thank you.